Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. This is the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Today's Thursday. The TV works.
Yeah,
We did some adjustments.
absolutely.
We made some things happen.
Made it happen.
Beautiful thing. To see our faces on there.
Especially yours.
With
right
some
now,
lower thirds.
that you can read.
It's good. It's good to have. It's nice to have.
Absolutely.
It's nice to be here.
It is nice to be
It's
here.
good to see you.
Yes.
Good to have you here with me today.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much, Drew. I always love being here with you, man. You know that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be hosting as well.
Absolutely.
It's always
man.
fun.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has.
Sort of.
I mean, if I would stop getting sick and things would stop getting in the way.
Sickness and cars.
Yes.
That seems to be the
issue.
Yeah.
It's hitting both of us, it seems. I don't know
Well,
why.
Not so much a car thing anymore.
Right.
I
You've solved your issue.
I would recommend exchanging.
Yes. Well, I'm working on that, especially since my side mirror came off. So that's fun. Not completely, still works, but duct tape is my best friend right now.
Well, go with the Gorilla Tape. It's black like your car.
That's true.
There you go.
I have to get to that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm doing great.
Wonderful. Yep. Tired, hungry, like usual.
Yep.
You know, the usual MO for the X-Bomb crew over here.
Of course.
Ready for a snack and some sleep.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
So we're just going to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
With some football news.
There's football news.
Football news, free agency, some franchise tag possibilities. What are certain Karens going to do? Who knows? But we're going to start with some breaking news we got today, a little
Yes.
while ago. LA and Bobby Wagner have agreed to part ways. Mutual split saves some cap space for the Rams, and Wagner has a chance to go somewhere where he can win.
Absolutely.
Because the way the Rams looked, that's not going to happen this year.
Probably not for a while, maybe. Is what it sounded like.
Obviously, it was a mutual parting to give an aging vet a chance to go win somewhere.
Absolutely.
Where do you think Bobby Wagner ends up, and do you think the Bears should potentially make phone calls and see if they could bring Bobby Wagner in as a veteran to help a young team out?
That's not a bad idea, actually. I mean, the question obviously is how much is he going to be willing to take, right? I mean, he's what, 30, 31. He's in that area now where getting up in age, but he's still a fantastic player. I mean, he's still sideline to sideline to this point. So having him, I think, with a guy like Sanborn, who we kind of talked about yesterday.
The greatest to ever do it, Jack Sanborn.
Won't go that far just yet, but he's a talented individual. I think he's the kind of guy that you can play inside, outside. I think bringing Bobby Wagner in for the Bears would be great. Outside of the Bears, I mean, it's going to probably have to be – it's going to be a contender.
The Chiefs. Watch it happen.
It could. I mean, if they don't want Anthony Hitchens anymore, then we're gonna be playing linebacker roulette, I guess, or carousel on this one then, because
rotate him in.
Exactly. It's just gonna go from one to the next. So, I mean, as far as teams that'll necessarily need him, I think maybe the Washington Commanders could be one. They have a pretty good defense. The Giants, I think, could be in play after all. They made the playoffs, and they seem to have a pretty good defense, and adding him is only going to make them better. So I think Bobby Wagner is going to have the pick of the litter. Every team's going to call about him.
I think it would be a good move.
Yeah, absolutely. I will even say this. There's a possibility that, because he's got a lot of respect for D'Amico Ryan, so he could go maybe to the Texans and become a captain and a leader there. And help that team. That team's defense is not too terrible.
Yeah, the thing that with that and the Bears, well, I think it would be awesome for them to bring, with all the cap space they have, to bring in a guy like Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
How it says mutual parting to give him a chance to win.
Right.
That's not the Texans. That's not the Bears quite yet.
Exactly.
But if depending on the kind of deal that he signs, if he's willing to hang around for a few years.
Sure.
I mean, at that point, maybe his play declines enough to where it's not going to matter. I think probably what's going to happen is he's going to go end up with an immediate contender where he can fill a need for the team.
Yeah.
And
He may even go back to Seattle.
I had that
I-
thought as well
yeah.
with the way they had played above what everyone thought they were going to be.
Jeez.
They have a chance.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely a potential move for him there as well. All right, next up we had the release of Derek Carr
Yes.
came, and some tension there between the Raiders and him, I believe it seems like, because they had
That's one way to put it.
he had a no trade clause,
Yes.
which he came out and said right away, I'm not going to agree to trade it for anyone.
Yes.
You're going to release me?
I'm not letting anybody give up
Yeah.
draft picks to you.
Yeah.
So that I can go to this team and they can use said draft picks to help me, their new quarterback.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Kind of a shot on his way out, and I can't blame him.
I don't blame him at all
I have zero blame going his way for this.
No, he's a good quarterback. I know people knock him, but I put him in the top 15, maybe even top 12. He does get the job done. I know he does a lot of things. He makes a lot of mistakes, right? He
Right.
can be costly. But what he can give you in terms of big playing ability, he's a quarterback that everybody's going to want to look at. And we see that. So,
Right. I agree. He has his moments if he gets on in the right situation. He can do some nice things.
absolutely.
So, as far as where he ends up, where do you see the best fit for a Derek Carr? Because there's teams like the Saints, Jets, Titans, Panthers seem to be ones that are interested.
Yeah.
I know we had a nice visit with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talk about this deal may get done with the Saints
Yeah.
immediately after. Well, then Carr came out and said, I'm going to take my time with this. There is no rush. Which there isn't.
All right.
So where do you see is the best fit for him?
I'm saying the Saints. I know they're clearing up cap space right now to try and get a deal done for him. I know they have a lot more work to get done, but look, whether or not they keep Michael Thomas, and I think that's going to be one of their big things, and obviously the Alvin Kamara thing is going to be an issue too. If you can move off those two guys, I mean, I think him with Chris Olave, the weapons they already have there, which look like they've got some pretty unique pieces to work with still.
Right.
You draft properly. I mean, in that defense, the way it is, that Saints team, I think, is winning the the NFC South, especially considering what we look at it now. Like Falcons, who knows where they're going to be at. Bucks, they just lost Tom Brady.
When they get Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
Don't get mad, David.
Yes.
Don't get mad.
Well, we'll talk about. I know we'll be discussing.
We'll get to
that.
him.
Yes. And then obviously there's the Panthers, which there's a slew of things on. Is Frank Reich going to give Matt Corral his chance? Is he going to go with Sam Darnold? Could they bring in like a Jimmy Garoppolo? Will they make an offer to Derek Carr? I know that they would really like to have Derek Carr, but I feel like Frank Reich's not going to push for that. I think he's going to push more for let's see what Corral can do, let's see what Darnold can do, and then we'll revisit the quarterback thing at a later date, which tells me they're probably going to draft somebody.
For me with Carolina, Matt Corral got injured last year, and he
Right.
was out the whole entire season. So who knows where he's going to be with that
Absolutely.
and rehab and being ready to play football,
Yes.
especially not having your rookie season to learn.
Right.
I mean, you could learn. I'm sure
He didn't have a chance to develop. Like
right, and
you would hope.
being on the sideline week after week after week,
Mhm.
seeing in person all the mistakes that were being made
Yes.
and what he could do differently. So I think quarterback for me for the Panthers is still way up in the air.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that there's a very good chance that they can either pull the trigger on a Derek Carr or one of these other free agents or try and trade up in the draft.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Derek Carr for the Jets is obviously interesting. Certainly interesting that they said you come here and when you're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a stretch, but
Yeah.
okay. I mean, listen, you win in a major market, it adds a lot more to your value than certainly I think,
Especially the Jets.
especially the Jets. Yes, if you can win with the Jets, you definitely get high praise because there's only one man that's done it thus far, like easily. So I think the Jets, I think the Saints would be the favorites right now. I like the Saints though because there feels like there's more cohesion there. There feels like there's more. there's more you can work with there than the Jets, where it's kind of like Garrett Wilson. We don't know where Brees Hall is going to be at. Michael Carter's fine, but he's not, an all around hugely dynamic running back. He's great out of the backfield, but that's kind of about it. Like, there's a lot more the Jets need to add on. But I think, by the time the draft comes around, he'll have a better understanding of where everybody's at, probably, because, everybody's going to have draft picks to burn. And everybody's going to have to make some decisions in free agency. And wherever he feels best, I think, is going to be the right place. If he likes it, then that's what matters.
I think for Carr and the Jets, I think the Jets are wanting Aaron Rodgers.
Sure, yeah.
And if Rodgers decides to do something else, like retire or stay with Green Bay, I think Carr might be a really good fallback option for them.
So he's their Russell Wilson. More or less.
Right. But I don't know. I think he needs to be in a good situation with an offensive line who can block for him and weapons, because when his weapons are out, we've seen some pretty sloppy games from him.
Absolutely.
So the right situation, I think he could do some nice things for a team.
Absolutely. And he's going to have the pick of the litter. Like, he's going to have a lot of choices. Right. Because everybody is looking for some kind of quarterback somewhere now. So.
Right. And this Carr, whatever team picks up Carr, may end up shaking things up big time for the draft.
Yeah.
And how these quarterback situations play out.
And that's what makes it so exciting, folks.
It does. Very much.
That's why we love it.
Well, another interesting bit from a team in Baltimore and their quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who we don't know if he's going to continue to be their quarterback. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, reportedly are $100 million apart in a new deal. That's a big number.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson wants a fully guaranteed contract like Deshaun Watson got in Cleveland.
Yes, he does.
And the Cleveland Browns just really causing chaos for
really
the quarterback
problems for everybody.
Right. So $100 million apart. Do you think he's worth that extra $100 million?
I mean, look, I do believe he's a top 10 quarterback. I do think for the Ravens, he is a franchise quarterback. To the degree that he is the best quarterback option they have for that team. The problem is that you fire your offensive coordinator and Greg Roman, who had the perfect offense for him, that won an MVP. You're bringing in now a guy who was at Georgia, who, Georgia did really good, back-to-back national championships, and this is a guy that Monken, who helped Baker Mayfield and Jameis Winston have their best passing seasons of their careers. So there's something to be said there for Todd Monken. But I don't know if that's going to translate the same way with Lamar Jackson, with or without a star receiver. Like, all they talk about, they're going to go get DeAndre Hopkins. Well, even with DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know if that's going to be enough to transform everything. It's nice. If you get him and Rashad Bateman, that's nice, but I don't know if that's enough. Because there's certain things that he does better than other quarterbacks in terms of running. And there are other things that, he's kind of middle of the pack, I would say, in terms of his ability to throw. So is he worth the 250 fully? I don't think he's worth the fully guaranteed contract like a Deshaun Watson is. And I know that's not his fault that the Browns did that. But at the same time, the Ravens have to think, well, we pay you that money. We then have to take hits elsewhere on the defense and on the offense. So if you want this team to stay intact, are you willing to take a little bit less, or can we structure this out differently so that the team can stay together? Because once he takes that money, we saw it with Aaron Rodgers, with all these other guys, your guys are going to have to take cuts. You have to cut certain guys, and that affects them, right? I mean, Packers lose Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith goes to the Vikings, and what happens? Vikings end up having the division and having one of their best seasons. Like, I don't think there's any it's not a coincidence, I don't
think. And still crap down their leg.
Exactly, right. They still were bad, but obviously something made it. It made more of a difference, I think, for Green Bay and helped the Vikings in some way. So
that means you don't think that the Ravens are going to pay them, do you?
Pay
him.
I think that from what I've understood, and I saw this recently. This comes from the Score. This is from Jeremy Fowler and Jamison Hensley. They said all of Lamar Jackson's counteroffers to the Ravens last year were for fully guaranteed contracts that exceeded the deal that Deshaun Watson got from the Browns. So if that's the case and he's still not accepting those offers, then it's like, okay, well, what are you looking at? And I think John Harbaugh is one of those guys who he'll stick it out for as long as he can, but if you're not willing to play ball with us at some point, we got to move on. So I would say at this point, I think the Ravens are still willing to pay him. But how much now is going to be, I think, obviously going to be the $100 million question, shall we say.
Right. There, and now this is another one because if Lamar Jackson ends up getting traded,
right,
could really shake things up for the draft as well.
Absolutely.
So with that, where do you see some landing spots for a guy like Lamar Jackson?
Well, he'd be on the franchise tag, which would put him at around $45 million, I think it is, or something like that, from what I understand. Which, Daniel Jones apparently wants to, so take that in consideration.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Daniel Jones, $45 million a year.
Yeah,
huh?
Talk about banking on 15 touchdowns with only 5 interceptions.
Yeah, maybe if they can't come to that kind of agreement, which I don't think they will.
No, I do think they could give him the franchise tag and just say, we give you the money, but it's 1 year, and now you got to prove it. The Ravens can do the same thing with Lamar. If they're going to trade him, though, I'm sorry, David. I do think Atlanta is a spot. I do. If you're saying no Drake London and no Kyle Pitts is leaving, I think then that Lamar going into that system gives the Atlanta Falcons a good shot to be a contender in the South. Because, again, we just said it's very weak, right? I mean, if the Saints don't get Derek Carr, it's Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Like, come on. So now Atlanta all
The Red
of a sudden,
Rocket. I mean, the Red Rifle.
Andy Dalton, yes, yeah, of course. Unless they could go draft a quarterback, obviously. They could.
Yeah.
But Lamar's the best quarterback in that division ultimately. I'm sure Atlanta finds a way to get more RPOs for him and everything, play a system that will work to him, help him become a better passer, whatever they need to do. I mean, he gets the guys I've always said he needs, right? Big old wide receiver, Drake London, big old tight end, Kyle Pitts.
I did pretty well with Mark Andrews all these years, so.
Exactly. So, and imagine what you can do with a guy who's running like a wide receiver. I mean, taller than most of the guys out there at 6'6", 245. All you got to do is throw him a 5-yard out, and he probably takes it 20 yards up the field. So I think Atlanta would be good. The Jets would be iffy, be very iffy. Carolina, I don't know if that would be a good situation. I'll throw out a dark horse, though. I wouldn't put it against Washington to maybe explore the possibility. I think they're going to look for a quarterback in the draft, but if you can't...
it sounds like they're ready to roll with Sam Howell.
Yeah. You mean new Gardner Minshew? As I like to call him? I have my suspects about him, but I'll give him a shot. I'll give him a shot like I give everybody. I give everybody their chance. So, but I would say that if Washington is wanting to kind of go, their run game's pretty good, so why not add in the best running quarterback in the league right now?
Yeah.
With some pretty good weapons, I would say, too, to be able to throw the ball to. Yeah. So,
for me, it's whatever team needs a quarterback, you should be checking.
So Texans too? Colts?
Yeah, all of them. Why not? Why would they not?
Yeah.
He's been an MVP of the league.
Absolutely.
He's produced when he's been playing.
Yes.
Why would you not?
I think it's just a matter of like scheme-wise to some of these teams, but
yeah, but at the same time, the good and great head coaches adjust.
That's true.
They make adjustments. Whether you have your schemes, you have your offense, but guess what? You're an offensive coordinator and head coach of a professional football team. Right. You should be able to adjust what you do to your players.
Absolutely.
And that's constant year after year because there's tons of turnover. There's a lot of players that don't end up with the same teams all the time.
Yeah.
They have contracts, they leave, and that's what happens. So you have to be able to make those adjustments, and I think any good team and good coaches would do that for a player like this.
Okay, fair
So,
enough.
I think it would be smart for any team out there needing a quarterback to make that call and see what it's going to cost for a trade.
Okay.
Now, moving on to I don't even know what to call him anymore. I'm at a loss because I don't understand this guy.
Like I apologize that I know he's on here again for us. It's just the copy on him is just sometimes too good to pass on.
Look at me,
Yeah,
look at me.
And we do look, and I'm sorry. And yes.
He is the oh my God.
Yeah. That's
Wow. That's yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has reemerged from the Shire. And Schmeagol himself, who has lost the ring and turned into a little troll, is now in search of the ring once again. He's precious.
DJ, you're
My
awesome.
precious.
Focus on the one ring.
Wow.
Yeah, that's his dark room, ladies and gentlemen, that he went
Okay.
in for 4 days
Yeah.
to meditate.
And I believe the owner of the place had come out and said that he left early.
Yeah, yes, he did.
He even
actually.
left early.
They didn't even stay the 4 days. So
Yeah.
what was all the talk about?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
This is a weird dude, everyone. This is
Yeah, he is.
to each their own, but this dude is out there.
Remember when he used to date like Olivia Munn and just be like a quarterback in the NFL?
And Danica Patrick.
And Danica Patrick, and he was like normal, and there was like no problems. Remember those days? Like we didn't like him, but obviously it was like, well, there's a certain level of respect that comes. Like now, I don't know what to say with him anymore.
No. Yeah.
Like he's really that dude that we all knew in high school. We leave for 15 years, we all come back to the reunion, and he's like really changed.
Yeah.
Like you're like, Aaron, is that you? It is I. Where were you, monk?
Yeah. I was in a hole in the ground for 4 days.
Seriously. Oh my god.
Oh, but supposedly now he's focused on his NFL future, though.
Yeah.
He is ready
Yes. On
For-
the one
for his
ring.
precious.
Oh god.
Is he okay? Is he coming back to Green Bay? Let's get back to football because I don't know what else to say about his
I know. No.
Hobbit retreat.
My brain is just like zapped at this point.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at those photos before. I was laughing. I look at them again, and I'm just picturing him on that cushion, just floating like 4 feet above the cushion,
Like
because he's entered that next
With
entering that next level.
with that haircut he had earlier
that
in
a-
the season, you could call him
is that a
Genie
jacuzzi?
Rodgers.
Does he have a jacuzzi in there? Is that what that is?
No, that is I believe they said it was a bathing tub.
A
A
bathing
bathing.
tub.
Oh,
Huh.
okay. The kind where you have to
Do they
pour
have
water over
servants
your-
come? Yeah. Do they have servants come in and
In the
draw a
dark?
bath for him? And
for
pour,
him probably.
Yeah, what is
Maybe.
this? Is it like Game of Thrones where they have to fill a tub and then pour water over them?
I don't know if it had running water or not.
I don't think so.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I would say no. Okay. All right. So is
Green Bay?
yeah? Is he gonna? Is
the
he
Jets? The Raiders?
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I think he's gonna stay in Green Bay. It's either Green Bay or I think he retires at this point. I don't see him. I don't think he's gonna leave because I think he's one. I said this before. I think he cares too much about his image to some degree. Even though I don't think he really likes Green Bay, I think he likes the image of being in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And that he's praised as being better than Favre and better than
But
others.
I think like you listen to some of the fans, and a lot of them are just tired of him.
Oh no,
and done with
they're
him.
exhausted.
So
They're absolutely beat. Like you look at the chat rooms and stuff, and I've done my scour through the Packers chat rooms and the Reddit boards and all that stuff. They're sick of his crap. They're done with this guy. But he keeps playing good football, so it's like I don't like this guy, but damn, he plays good football. And I get it. Like it's a hard conundrum to get past because you love your team, you want him to do well, But once he leaves, it will not be the same, because then you have Jordan Love, and who knows what Jordan Love will become. And that's the biggest question mark right now is Jordan Love ready to take over the team? I think he deserves a shot. He deserves his chance at this point. I don't know, though, if he will or not. And I think if he doesn't, he's going to ask for a trade.
That's what I was going to say. I believe he already did. If he's not going to start, I thought I heard that a while back.
Okay.
Like he came out and said basically that if he's not going to play, he's going to want to request a trade.
Yeah, I just saw the thing where it's like it was saying if Aaron were to stay as the Packers quarterback, the best move for him would be to ask for a trade. If he already did, then good on him. Like,
yeah.
But obviously, you're waiting on a guy who's like having to go through the Zen Buddhist
year
tunnel.
after year now.
Yeah,
it's the same story with him.
Yeah, he always has to leave the door open enough to be like, you never know, I may retire, or I may come back.
He wants all the drama. He wants everybody talking about him. He wants the spotlight on him.
He loves being the center of attention.
Yeah, he's a me guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he always has been.
In general, I think when it comes to the team, he's a team guy, but
he certainly favors more guys over others.
I mean, nothing's ever his fault.
Right.
That's for sure.
Of course.
But I think he really wants what's best for the team.
Sure. No, I think he wants what's best for the team, because what's best for the team is also what's best for his career.
Right.
Which just comes full circle to it is still about me. It's just you guys. I need you guys to help me get to this point. And I mean, that's where I have a problem with him. I know that's where a lot of people have a problem with him. I mean, it's just the arrogance and the ego of this guy is so overwhelming, and yet he wants to be so passive aggressive and just like, ho hum, I'm just another guy. Like, dude, we get it. You're from California. You want to be a superstar and celebrity, but you don't want to be identified as that. Well, tough nuggies, man. This is what you have to deal with. You're a star quarterback, and you're trying to not act famous, but you're famous. Like, you don't get to cherry pick what you get. Sorry. That's not how life works.
Yeah,
Done with your crap, cheesehead.
I'm pretty done with him too. I kind of hope he just retires and call it quits.
I hope
so we don't have to
would
deal with him anymore.
And that's the problem, is that I think he's going to retire, but it ain't going to be the end for him.
No.
And that's what sucks, is that I know we're going to have more conversation, because he's going to do like I bought a weed farm or whatever it is. I bought a mushroom, or was it bought a mushroom farm? There's guys that own mushroom farms and stuff like
ayahuasca.
And ayahuasca, yeah, he's going to try and legalize ayahuasca here in the United States for usage, like all that stuff. And I don't know. I know there's benefits to that stuff, but like unfortunately I don't think we're ever going to hear the end of Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I think he can still play.
Yeah, he
again
can.
With players around him.
Yeah,
he'll do just fine. Where if he ends up with the Jets, stays with Green Bay, even the Raiders back with Devontae, we already know what they can do.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have his options, I think, but I don't really care.
That's the best way to put it.
I don't really care.
It's just like we've gone through this so many times now. And tell me if I'm wrong. Not to ask you the question, but to kind of, for your sake, do you feel like this is getting to the Brett Favre, I'm retiring, not retiring kind of situation? Are we approaching that level of like, dude, make a decision already? Because I'm feeling like I'm already like he's on that level now.
It feels like it. He's an attention whore.
Yeah,
and he wants
yes,
it. He wants it all on him.
Yeah.
So whatever he has to do to keep the spotlight and attention on him and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why, like, if
Favre's a diva, he's a diva.
If you don't want to talk about this and don't tell people about it, and you just bitch and complain about having to talk about it all the time, and people are making things up, and it's just conjecture, and it's not reality, then shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't come out and speak. Just disappear. Go to your little hobbit hole.
Yeah.
And don't tell anyone about it.
Stop going on the Pat McAfee show
and
laying out your BS for everybody.
Don't tell anybody. Go do your weird crap that you like to do, and then come back and make your decision and come out and just say it.
Yeah.
Or just disappear. Stay in your hole.
Yes. Stay in your cheese hole.
Live with the hobbitses. Okay. Yeah, there he is. There's his home. Yeah. Go back to the Shire.
Go back to Oregon.
Back to the Shire.
Yeah.
I know you'll never find your ring of
He's really looking for the purple dragon
ring of
and
destiny.
and the white wizard in this one,
Yeah.
man. He's taking all the ayahuasca to get all those Lord of the Ring characters in there. I'm really hoping he's just gonna be tripping in the locker room one day and just be like, "And my axe."
Do you
like,
think he
just,
glued hair to his feet too? I
you
hope
know what?
so.
It would not surprise me one bit if he was just like, "I got to get the full sense
Yeah.
of being one with the Shire."
That's why he
right?
grew the man bun.
Yeah, so he could cut it off and glue
Yeah,
it to his feet.
exactly.
Yeah. Well.
I needed the extra hair. So.
Yeah. Do you think in his dark room he started pulling it out like Schmeagol too?
Probably.
I mean, well,
he's a trip.
yeah, I'm done with him.
Hey, he's a tall drink of LSD.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we are done with him, and we are done with NFL.
Yes, sir.
And when we come back, we're gonna get into some NBA news.
yes, we are.
Very exciting. Is it?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
We'll
Do you
find
know?
out.
We'll find out when we come back on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.
Hey, watch your mouth. Why? I'll just put a quarter in the swear jar. Once it's filled, we get a Coors party after work. I've been drinking Coors since my college days. The cold draft taste is second to none. Yeah, worth a recorder, am I right? You know it, mother. Hey,
You get those reports done?
yeah. No. You, sir. Attention, employees.
The staff meeting, scheduled for this evening, will now be held tomorrow early as
Who's all? Dudes, we're only 75 cents short. Oh, shh. Boss. Hey, sir, go yourself. You're fired! I still get beer.
And we're back on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Still me.
You little
And still
stinker.
you.
Yeah.
What do you mean, stinker? What did I do?
You trying to mess up the greatest director, producer of all time?
I'm
back
making
there?
him better. Distractions make you better.
Is that right?
And I get to
'Cause
have
if
my
that's the case-
I get to have my fun.
If that's the case, then
And
Ben
make
Simmons
him
should be
better.
the greatest NBA player of all time.
No, he just sucks at basketball.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
He's a distraction, but he sucks at basketball.
That's yes.
Yeah.
That
So,
is true.
I don't know what you're going to do about that one. While we are talking
yeah,
NBA, we are
yes.
not talking about Ben
no,
Simmons.
No,
okay?
we're not. Not this time.
No Ben Simmons, no Kyrie.
He's coming at a later date.
No preemptive rants from you.
No,
Okay?
I'm saving it all built up for one. I got one plan for him. I'm saving
Oh, to one massive explosion.
it. More or less.
Oh,
More or
God.
less.
Can't
I'm
wait.
calling you out, man.
I can't wait for that day.
That'll be one whole show. Just
One whole
What?
hour of me just yelling.
We'll do that on a day where I'm not here because he'll need the full hour to just go.
Yeah. It'll be in today's show. Andrew says how Ben Simmons disappointed him this year.
Yeah. Let me
guys-
count the ways.
You guys sound like I have like a grudge against him. I don't really hate the guy that much. My favorite player.
Why do you hate Ben? Don't answer that question.
You're gonna ask that. I'm gonna get a bunch of emails saying you have every right to hate Ben Simmons. And
Well,
that's what's gonna happen.
I think that might be an option.
I get a bunch of emails about why I hate everybody else, though, because you have to charge that. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, but do we have breaking news about Patrick Kane? We have a Tom McKinney sighting. He said he was only coming in if
I
Patrick
know.
Kane got traded.
Swear to God, if it did.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Sorry.
Hi, Tom. Everyone say hi, Tom. He can't hear you. We
Yeah.
can't either, but hopefully you did anyways. But anyways, we are talking NBA.
Yes.
A little NBA and NBPA voted to extend the CBA opt-out from February 8th to March 31st.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Per ESPN's Woj.
Mm-hmm.
decision to extend date is rooted in the belief that there's enough common ground in the talks to reach a new labor deal.
Yes, this was back on February 6th. I think they did this, but it's become more prevalent now because obviously March is coming up here soon. So
Very soon.
yeah,
Very, very,
very
soon.
soon.
What do you think? Is it going to happen? They going to figure out a new labor deal?
Oh man, this is tough because they got a lot to work on. They got a lot of issues they're gonna have to discuss, and as we know from the past, owners versus players association has kind of been tense, shall we say, for the most part. So I think it can happen because I think everybody's trying to be like, let's not pick up arms and pitchforks and start looking at the picket lines and stuff. But I think everybody's kind of like, right? It's like, okay, corral. Everybody's kind of at the ready, like the old westerns. They're ready to go for the holster if they need to. So I think a deal can get done, but I'm gonna say I'm on the very bleak side of things right now.
Well, do you think it's more of a chance for a lockout or that they come to an agreement?
I'm gonna lean, I think, a little bit more towards a lockout. I think. And I hate saying that
And
because
that's
there's a
never
lot
fun.
of things they have to discuss with. What is it? They have to discuss the luxury tax, broadcasting rights, the age limit for the draft, and
Yeah.
but
well,
the biggest one.
let's jump right into the list of
Yeah.
things to address. Like you said, the luxury tax with a hard spending limit, broadcasting rights, and regional sports networks.
Mm-hmm.
This one, which was kind of interesting to me, was
Mhm.
lowering the age of allowing players to come in to
Yes.
join the NBA.
Bring it back down
allow
to
high school
18.
players to enter draft at 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have much younger players entering the league
Yep.
but while still not making it so they take the place of veteran players.
Yes.
Which
yeah.
I think I read correctly.
Which I guess that means they're extending the rosters then.
But
I
still
would think.
allowing them the opportunities to get playing time.
Right. So either that means they would get drafted and go straight to the G League, or they would extend the rosters, I would think.
Yes.
Or something.
You would think so.
They haven't explained that part fully, which is like I guess that's
don't-
where the negotiation is going to happen.
Right. And then also incentivizing players to not rest or sit out games.
That's
for
going to be the big one.
Load management.
That's going to be the big one.
LeBron.
Kawhi.
LeBron. Oh, let's sit out the whole week after we break a record and
Yeah.
then play in the All-Star game.
Yeah. This is
LeBron. And then did he even come back? I don't even think he played right away after
No.
the All-Star break.
No. Well, and you got Kevin Durant, who's just going to be coming back, I think, this week after getting traded. I know he was hurt, but still, like, you know, you would have thought a little bit sooner than later. But that's why I think it may be headed more towards a lockout, because that's the big one I think that's going to be the tail problem, right? The 18-year-old thing I think can get settled. The broadcasting rights thing, everybody wants to make their money, right? The hard cap limit thing could be contentious because you're talking about swapping the luxury tax out for, right? But
For a cap.
Yeah, because I saw on, I think it was
I
Yahoo
think
Sports.
limiting super teams.
Yes, because I don't know if you saw Yahoo Sports put out the article. They said $700 million is going to be paid in luxury tax. Like a third of that is being paid, I think they said, or no, half of it I think is by the Warriors, the Clippers,
Yep.
and there's one other team I can't remember, but there's one other team involved in that, and it's like that's ridiculous. The team should not be able to do that. Now I don't know what the hard cap would be for the NBA, but certainly it would then incentivize the teams to be more competitive, spread out the money, have the chance for other players to go elsewhere, you know. But the problem also is who wants to go to Sacramento?
Right.
Who wants to go to, you know, Memphis and all that? Well, Memphis now
Well,
maybe,
yeah.
but
I would
Right,
want
I
him-
mean, yeah.
I think Memphis
But,
would be a good destination
you know,
for a lot
like-
of players.
like Charlotte and Washington, there's a lot of places that guys are like, maybe, but it's not LA. It's not Orlando. It's not, you know, or not, we're not Orlando, but like Miami. It's not one of those teams who are at the top. Oh, and by the way, they got a wonderful city and a good culture, you know. So,
Yeah, I think trying to get players to not take their rest days like they have, it's just, I think that's going to be tough.
yes. Because my thinking is they want to lower the season because that's the only thing, right? 72 games, 68 games, whatever it is they're looking at. Then the owners are going to say, okay, well, then you got to take less money because
Right.
we're losing revenue then because we have to then cut the services that we make off of ticket revenue and food and sales and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to cut into the profits. So if you want less games, then you have to take less money. And I think that's where they're going to be, well, we're not doing that, and that's where they're going to be butting heads
And
till the very day.
I think the way it says incentivizing players, so it's, I think one way they could make it where both sides could agree is, okay, well, the players that choose not to do this are going to get A.
Yes.
And the players that decide they still need their rest time and want to sit out, LeBron, you're either not going to get these things or you're going to be paid less or you may lose a game check because of, okay, you're going to play exactly like I said, you're going to sit out after breaking a record and then play in an all-star game and then come back from that and then sit out more of your team's games that you have to win to try and make to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They are trying
Absolutely.
to push for not trying to just single out the Lakers here, but it's a very good example to making the point of you're trying to win these games and make it to the playoffs, and you are sitting these games out.
Yeah. Well, and let's not forget, too, like, anybody who's going to blame LeBron for this or Kawhi, like, understand, yes, this is a lot on the veteran players because, like, I don't know if you heard at All-Star Weekend, Anthony Edwards spoke, and he said, if you're 80%, you should be out there playing. Like, you should be able to go. Like, if you feel good enough to be able to walk around in clothes, you should be out there on the court being able to play, do what you can, and figure out a minute system or something like that. Giannis even said that, too. He's like, look, I got bumps and bruises all the time. I'm not always 100%, but I'm going out there because I know they need me to win, and we have to win to get the best seed in the playoffs. So it makes sense for those guys. But load management's been going on forever. I mean, let's be honest, right? 2000s, we're seeing guys sometimes get sit at the end of the year. Now, that's at the end of the season because they want to get them rested for the playoffs, but usually it's the teams that only have, like, the secure spots, right? The Spurs and the Lakers.
Locked up.
Yeah.
locked
And even then,
up their spots.
Kobe said he would never take a day off. He didn't get rested because
MJ
Phil would be
didn't
like,
take days off.
Phil would say, do you want to take time off? We've got like 10 games before the playoffs. And Kobe's like, I'm playing.
Yeah.
Because we could get, what if those 10 games, all of a sudden something changes? We lose momentum. Can't do that.
Yeah.
So it differs to players. I get the generation has certainly changed a lot, but load management has been going on for a long time. It's just now you put a name to it. Now you're getting guys sitting out 25 games in the season just to try and make the playoffs when, oh, those 25 games that you sat out, by the way, you lost 20 of them. And had you played in those 25 games, you might have won like 15 of them, or maybe all 20 of those that you lost. So guess what? You might be in a higher seed in the playoffs instead of exiting in the first round.
Yeah, or difference of making the playoffs and not.
Exactly. Yeah, you could completely miss the playoffs or the play-in tournament now.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that opportunity now to maybe sneak in there, but who knows now? LeBron, Kawhi, Zion.
Well, at least
Well, Zion's hurt, so
yeah, Zion's always hurt.
Yes.
And we kind of
But he's one that I fear. I actually do think, and I fear, like, he could become a guy where it's like, because the injuries are so much that he's like, I'm gonna need to take a break every once in a while. It's like, dude, you're the focal point of the Pelicans. You can't be taking breaks. You got to play at least 75, 80 games, I would say, for them to be in the playoffs in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's tough to compare eras because
Of course.
times are different. It's the way of the world. But
Money
you know
has
what?
changed.
The way medicine is now and recovery and all the supplements out there and just the way of doing things has gotten so much better and changed.
Mm-hmm.
And back then when the era of Michael Jordan playing and a lot of those teams and even further on when players are getting their ass kicked in these playoff series and games and even in regular season games.
Yeah.
All season long and you don't miss games.
Yeah.
You
Look at
don't
Allen Iverson.
sit games.
Yeah.
That's why people say Jordan would score 50, 60 points a game now because you can't get your ass kicked like that.
No, you can't.
You still see hard hits sometimes, but
Yeah.
that's not the norm.
No, it's not. And I don't want to say it's gotten softer. Because I think the
It
league,
has.
in a way, it has. These players are far more athletic than I think they have been
Yes.
over the last 30 years.
Agreed.
These guys are doing things that I think Jordan and some of these guys wish they could do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
John Morant's doing things that I remember Gary Payton saying, he's like, I wish I could jump like that. I wish I had that ability
Well, I'm
to
sure,
spring off the board.
I still think most, if not all of them, are saying they could wish they could jump like Jordan too.
Absolutely.
So,
No, of course.
That is one guy that's the freak of
Right.
nature that will always. That's why he's the GOAT.
He
Always will be.
Yes, he'll always be considered the pinnacle standard of what a all-time great basketball player was,
Yeah.
as will a lot of these guys, right? Even LeBron, he'll be one of those guys that you hold up as a pillar to say, like, are you on this level? Are you on the Jordan level? Are you on the, Abdul-Jabbar level? Are you on those levels? But unfortunately, these guys now, because of social media, because of other things that are now being put in their lives, it's just it's creating more of a situation where I think they look at it and go, I play basketball for a living, but I got other things I enjoy doing as well. Well, then go do those things if you enjoy them so much.
Right.
And then see how that works out for you, because I guarantee you'll miss the game and you'll miss the opportunity to make a ton of money, especially if you're a guy that's just trying to break through still.
Yeah.
In his like late 20s or whatever. That's that. I don't know. I don't blame anybody for this. I think it's just the way that the league seems to have gone, but it does suck, especially for the fans that pay the tickets to go watch these guys play.
Right. Yeah. Casual fans, it's tough to even afford to go to these
Yeah.
games, and when you pay all that money to go see,
You want to see
one of these
LeBron or
players
Kawhi and they're
play,
sitting out? Yeah,
you expect to see them out there on the floor playing.
absolutely.
And it just disappoints fans to the point where they probably I'm not buying those tickets again.
Yeah,
Because I don't even know if I'm going to get to see the guy who I originally bought the tickets to go see.
yeah, and that's what's scaring the owners, because that will dissuade the fans to say,
Yeah.
well, then I'm staying home and watching the
And
game.
guess what? They don't make their money then.
Yeah, and that's where I think I have to say a lockout, maybe even a strike. I don't know. I don't know if they'll go that way,
Yeah.
but both sides are gonna, I think, end up being unhappy in some regard. May have to go in a lose-lose where they may have to take some kind of cut on both sides.
Yeah.
But
Well-
in order for the game to survive, they need to do that.
Right. Well, if they can't reach a deal by March 31st, lockout or strike is the fear that that's coming next.
Absolutely.
So I know you said that there's more of a possibility of there being a lockout than them agreeing on a deal.
Yeah.
If there is a lockout, how
Mhm.
long do you think the players are going to let this one play out without getting game checks, without getting their money that they covet so much?
Long enough for the Bulls to make the playoffs and win the championship. I mean, they had a good run when the last lockout. So, no, I would say that for them, I would say it'd probably take maybe a little bit over a month. Just because when it comes to the owners and the Players Association, there is a real tug of war of we want to be right, we want to be right, we want to be right, we want to be right. Granted, I think Adam Silver does a great job mediating these things and finding a way to say, like, we can all come together and be happy. Unlike guys like Roger Goodell or Gary Bettman for the NHL, or certainly Rob Manfred at the very top for baseball.
Everyone loves him.
Yeah, everybody just adores him so much.
He's doing a bang-up job.
Yes, absolutely. So pro owners, you could peel the asses of the owners off his face sometimes, I swear.
That's what we call brown nosing.
To the highest extent.
Wait, why do they call it brown nosing? Oh,
Well,
got it.
Deshaun Watson calls it brown fingering, but
But had to go there, huh?
Yeah, well, you know
Had
what?
to go there.
He does it to himself.
Yeah,
he put
well,
himself in that situation.
I'm sure he does do it to himself, but he definitely likes to do it to others as well, which is inappropriate
Yeah.
and
Yes.
uncalled for.
Yes, absolutely. But it's a joke now. So
Yeah, well, apparently.
on these shows, it's the running joke. So
Yeah, well,
sorry.
I got another joke for you.
Mhm.
The show's over.
What?
Oh, that's not funny, though.
That's not funny. That's sad.
We are done, though.
They are. Unless some breaking news comes through in like the next couple
Tom?
seconds.
Breaking news, Tom.
Okay.
I'd like to break some news. Tom is a Notre Dame fan, and they suck. But everybody knows that.
He's got green pants on.
Well, what he said was that the front office is listening for trades for Justin Fields. Well, again,
Because his record compares to Jamarcus Russell.
okay, send whatever nonsense and harassing messages you'd like to Andrew here at xbsportsofficial
I
at
enjoy
gmail.com
Please.
because he likes to throw out some straight nonsense comparing Justin Fields to Jamarcus Russell.
I only did it to get your gullets, and it worked.
So
Come on, he's better than Jamarcus Russell. Give me a break.
So-
like a million times
Yes.
better, hands
the only
down.
thing that Jamarcus
Every
Russell beats
single
him on
no
is that eating
No.
beignets and
Well, okay.
and dumplings and all kinds of crap.
That's true.
So the update that I have right now from Pierre LeBrun as of like 6 minutes ago was from Patrick Kane's agent, Pat Breeson. He hasn't made up his decision at this point. But the Rangers have sat two key pieces that have been floated around as part of a deal for Kane in tonight's game. So
Okay. So they're expecting
it's looking
talks.
like either we could get this as soon as the show ends,
Of course.
or it could happen tomorrow morning. I don't know, but it's sounding like something's going to happen sooner than later. But there's also Dylan Larkin now being floated around as a trade piece out of Detroit. So who knows at this point?
Well, thank you to the torso of Tom McKinney.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um,
Got a good look at those.
that dad bod.
That hideous green pants.
Yeah. I
Shouldn't
saw
they be
you-
gold?
Yeah. Your pants. Of course they are. I wear.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, but
Shocking. On that note,
no dog.
Andrew, why don't you tell everybody where they can hear you, find you, whatever else you want to throw out to them.
Yeah, you guys can always find me here on the show, X Bomb Sports. I'm either hosting or co-hosting when Drew's up here, so you guys can always find me here. I'm at The Fluffy Girl on Twitter. I'm at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram. If you guys want to see any more of our stuff outside of it, there's always Blow the Whistle on the radio side Mondays, SportsTownChicago.com, and SportsTown Shy on Twitch. We are going to be live on Twitch now, so you can see our pretty faces. And we're on the TV side here on the X Bomb Sports YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, where you guys can see us every Tuesday, myself, David, and Tyler, talking sports us up here as well. So not as combative, and Drew will hopefully not kill me. But we will see. But yeah,
We'll try.
yeah. And other than that, I produce for our boy TJ Knacker back there with Unpack with the Knack. And so we can. And I don't think we can end the show then.
Oh, are you talking into a microphone, Tom? So no. Yeah. Okay. He's just giving us some solid dead air while we listen.
yeah.
While we listen to what comes out of your mouth that
Yeah,
no one else can hear.
So
we just
I'm
listen
here.
to solid dead air.
Yeah, I know. I'm good at this.
Yeah. We know. Hey,
I know he's so
I don't care.
excited.
sit down. Nobody
I
wants
know,
to see
just
your
sit. It's
golden
okay.
dome.
Okay, fine. I could squat and still be tall enough. So, from Kevin Weeks, who's a very reliable source,
Yes.
the Rangers have acquired forward Patrick Kane. That's what's being reported as of right now, but I don't know fully the details or how far that's into detail.
Yeah, I'm looking at NYI Hockey Now, and it says that this is an article from Steven Rosner, and he says source hearing Kane to Rangers is happening. So that's also being reported. Nothing concrete yet though. So
Well, I think you guys are making it up because I haven't seen a damn thing yet. So, on that note, if you'd like to come check me out, you can find me here on Wednesdays and Thursdays or Instagram at d.gwil25 and Facebook at Drew Gwillem.
absolutely.
Okay. Now, if you'd like to come see our wonderful show, you can find us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, sometimes Twitter, not streaming the show.
No.
But we have a Twitter.
We do have a Twitter.
Whether we use it, I don't really know.
We're getting back to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Burning
yeah.
my fingers up a little bit doing it.
If you would like to send us, send Andrew, which we had talked about, since he likes to throw ridiculous things out there to get a rise out of people.
It's always fun.
Why don't you get a rise out of him? Send him some nonsense. He likes Mo Bamba, Trace McSorley,
mustard.
He loves Ben Simmons.
Mayonnaise.
xpsportsofficial@gmail.com. Mayonnaise is disgusting.
Condiments of all kinds.
Disgusting. Okay?
So mayonnaise over Dijon?
If I saw somebody take a scoop of mayonnaise out and just eat it, I'd probably throw up.
Really?
That's the most disgusting thing.
I'm learning so much about you now.
I mean,
I haven't gotten anything like that, but mustard was certainly on the top of the list, I think, right now.
That's fine. I'd rather eat a whole jug of mustard than.
But now I'll probably get one with mayonnaise, so be prepared for that.
Well, you're a disgusting human being if you want to.
If it's any better, there was one with chocolate sauce and ice cream.
I mean, that sounds way better.
Exactly.
Who doesn't like a sundae with a cherry on top?
Banana split?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
I enjoy ice cream just as much as the next.
Yeah, I figured.
Don't miss a drop.
No.
Okay, moving on. Next, TJ, let it fly. We are wonderful fans of the Blow the Whistle podcast, radio show, TV show. Check them out from 2 to 4 at Sportstown Chicago.
Yes,
Also right here back at the news desk at 3 p.m.s on Tuesdays as well.
Yes, sir.
Great work they do there. David, Tyler, and Andrew.
Yep.
Unpack with the Knack. TJ is doing great work with that while Andrew produces for him. Finding some wonderful and very odd cards in some of the packs.
Oh, TJ, the people are loving the show, man. So I'm very happy that you're a hit, man. You really are. Fans love you, man.
Keep up the good work there.
Absolutely. Best beard.
Also doing great work is Brandon Januska, our guy, the 94.3 WMKR. Yeehaw, Brandon. Yeehaw. That's all I got to say. Keep up the good work there.
Please say yeehaw for us once.
Once. Also, one of the most knowledgeable baseball guys I know.
Yeah.
Brandon as well. Does baseball banter with Brandon.
I know that alliteration, man.
One of these days. Get it. The flow will be solid.
It takes some
it
tries.
will be correct.
Yeah.
But great work he's doing there. Hannah B. Monday Motivation. Great podcast she's been doing for a long time. Awesome. You can find it at Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Along with that, she is now a professional radio host and co-host at 102.3 XLC doing the afternoon drive from 3 to 7.
Absolutely.
Also at 96.7 The Star mornings with Eddie Volkman, the legendary Eddie Volkman.
And they're killing it.
Awesome work. Hannah was by herself the other morning and did a great job hosting on her own.
We're gonna see her face on a billboard soon.
You're right. She'll be on the billboard someday.
Yeah.
Just on every radio station.
Pink background
you can
and all.
think of. Absolutely.
We know it's coming.
Also, along with all those wonderful shows, you can check out the Parlay at theparlay.com. It's Tony Lopez, our guy T-Lo, and 15-year NBA vet Kendall Gill talking combat sports. So check them out at theparlay.com. Next. There's one more. No.
No,
Yes.
it's
No.
your
There's
call.
not. Well, the fake football guys. You can check them out when they decide to bring their season back. Maybe you'll learn something this year.
I mean, I beat them in fantasy football.
So apparently, maybe he did learn something. But you can check out their show if you have any interest in learning more about the knowledge of fantasy sports.
Yes.
And that'll do it for us here. It is Thursday, so we won't see you till next week. Have a great, safe weekend. Hopefully we get some nice weather for everybody, and you can enjoy yourselves. But we will be back here better than ever next week with some more wonderful football and sports news for you. Single out football because we love that more than anything. And it's the one sport you can really talk about year round because
Yeah,
there's always
for sure.
something going on for them.
We may have a little bit. Of
And we
hockey
might have
something.
some new breaking news
Yeah.
for everyone with Patrick Kane or some more football news coming next
Yeah.
week. So
NHL trade deadline's Wednesday, so
we will have a lot to talk about coming with for you next week. So have a great
Mm-hmm.
weekend. Thanks for watching, listening, however you took us in. We appreciate you all because we can't do this without you.
absolutely.
And we will see you next week right here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.